you have to pass by the pens of the older dogs, a cheerful cell block arranged around an interior courtyard where prospective adopters can take an animal they want to get to know better. The concrete floors are warmed in front so the dogs will nap where the people can see them, not cower in a back corner. But most don't nap. They beseech you, pressing their noses through the chain links, trying to make a connection or barking exuberantly. You know you could change one of these dogs' lives, take it away from its caged existence. But which one of the pits and lab mixes and shepherds, each fixing you with eyes that seem designed to connect with you, to force you to fall in love, will you choose? It's a big decision, because by making it you're leaving the rest of them to their lives in this place, loud and crowded but a bit lonely, waiting to be selected. We'd thought for a while about getting an adult dog, imagining the satisfaction of doing a noble thing, the gratitude we'd reap. But a puppy, what a joy! As a friend said, getting an adult dog would be like sex without the orgasm. A puppy would be ours, loving us above others, imprinted with our ways. I steeled myself, swallowing the guilt, and kept moving. Back in the inner sanctum, volunteers bustled about in blue scrubs as a few families evaluated their options amid a cacophony of puppyish barks. There was a wall of puppy condos, cages stacked 3 high, floored with newspaper. The dominant smell was cleaning products with farmyard undertones, not at all unpleasant, though you got the sense that maintaining the place was a big job. Some of the cage's occupants napped, especially the younger ones, but more of them were fully engaged, pressing against the bars, looking for contact, yipping eagerly. And there she was, big-pawed and a little slow-moving compared with some of the other dogs, peering out at us from her cage, her head slowly bobbing and craning like a little black brontosaurus. She had a glossy jet-black coat and big brown expressive eyes. A beautiful dog. Hard to resist, even if she seemed a bit under the weather. The paper on her cage said Lab Mix, 12 weeks old. She was at that point just a number, puppy T68782, from Tennessee, a fact I wondered about for a minute. How had she wound up here? There was a male puppy in the cage next to her, a winning, shaggy black and white animal that I thought might have had some border collie in his ancestry, loudly and energetically seeking our attention. He'd be a handful, in a good way, I thought. Stella's charms were subtler. She seemed self-possessed, happy for attention but not demanding it. I imagined, with no evidence whatsoever, that she would be sensible, the Labrador as a kind of nanny, a helpmate for the adults, the dog of my childhood. We milled around, poking our fingers into other cages, trying to imagine a bond, making ourselves fall in love, the common activity in the puppy rooms at North Shore. We're not exactly believers in love at first sight, though retroactively it's a story one might like to tell. I'd grown up with a lab, but truthfully I hadn't thought we'd end up with one this time. Then another couple came in and eyed her, then began whispering in the corner. They might have been talking about the weather and not the new apple of our eye, but we couldn't take a chance. The loud little border collie would have to keep waiting. Stella would be ours. We filled out the paperwork and waited as the volunteers called our references. They take these checks seriously. They want to make it seem as much as possible like an adoption, not a purchase, a life you're taking responsibility for. Back at a house we were renting on the North Fork of Long Island, we set her loose on the lawn. She took a few wobbly steps and then lay down, a position she spent quite a bit of time in over the next month. She had a bad case of kennel cough. Any shelter or kennel, even the cleanest and best run, is not the healthiest environment for a dog. But after a while she was on the full puppy program for good and ill, chasing butterflies, snatching gloves from passers-by, and chewing up shoes and furniture, which was annoying, but it was what we'd signed up for. In the first weeks, that was about as far as my dog horizons extended, but they quickly expanded. Stella was going to be a New York City dog, and in this she would be joining a large and growing